Some will think a player's jersey number doesn't really matter, but to the players in the video, you'll quickly find out that that couldn't be further from the truth. Tobias Harris has had a pretty solid NBA career, and he's actually a very crucial piece for his current team, the Philadelphia 76ers. And while things are looking good for not only the 76ers, but himself also, things weren't always so great. You see, Harris is known for rocking the numbers 34 and 33, but after the tragic loss of a childhood friend, he decided to change his number for good. His childhood friend Morgan Childs, also his former AAU teammate, were very close. They both shared the dream of one day suiting up and playing for an NBA team. Unfortunately, Morgan would pass away after a tough battle with leukemia, and in honor of him, Harris would then switch his jersey number to 12, which was Morgan's favorite number. Kevin Garnett would also change his number after a similar tragedy. As you know, KG spent the beginning of his career playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves. He wore number 21 in honor of his idol, Malik Sealy. In 1998, Sealy would join the Timberwolves, which really excited young Garnett. They became really close, and they had a brother type of bond that was unbreakable. Sealy showed KG love, along with a group of others, by throwing KG a surprise birthday party on May 20th, 2000. The party went as planned. Everyone was having a great time and KG felt invincible. But later that day, things would take a tragic turn. After the party, Malik was headed home, but once he got on the freeway, this happened.
And I just remember she was telling me, she was like, something happened to Malik, you know, you got to get up.
Timberwolves guard, NBA veteran Malik Sealy died as a result of a head-on car collision in suburban Minneapolis. His sports utility vehicle was hit by a pickup truck which was going the wrong way on a highway. Sealy was returning from teammate Kevin Garnett's birthday party at the time of the crash.
This situation was extremely sad, and it sent shockwaves through the entire NBA. Both NBA fans and players were heartbroken to hear the news. In tribute to Malik, they decided the next Timberwolves game was dedicated to him. Sadly, Garnett changed after this. He was no longer the same person or player. Not only did he just lose his best friend, but instead of going on the vacation the two had planned, he was instead attending Malik's funeral. This left Garnett in a harsh, depressive state, and he wasn't sure he would ever recover from such a tragedy. Then something clicked inside his head. He no longer wanted to just play basketball for himself. He wanted to play for Malik too. He even got a Malik tattoo on his right arm and stitched "To Malik" inside his sneakers. He was now determined more than ever to be great, and he did exactly that, all for his best friend. Wow, a true example of resilience and inspiration. Joel Embiid is one of the most lovable players in the NBA. He's funny, entertaining, and oh yeah, he can drop 50 points on your favorite NBA team in a heartbeat. Seriously though, he loved the number 21. He wore it back in college during this time with the Kansas Jayhawks, and of course now with the 76ers. But he almost didn't get the number. You see, Drew Holiday was the 76ers point guard at the time, and he wore number 11, which was Embiid's first choice. Then he sought after the 21, but again it was also taken by Thaddeus Young. Luckily for Embiid, Young was traded away that summer to the Indiana Pacers. Finally, Embiid ended up getting the jersey number he always wanted. But wait, that isn't it, because the number 21 was also worn by one of the greatest power forwards of all time, Tim Duncan. Shortly after Duncan retired, Embiid went to Twitter and congratulated him and called Duncan one of his role models, and admitted he wore the number 21 because of him. Yeah, Embiid is definitely living up to the number formerly worn by the Hall of Famer. He's already stamped himself as one of the best big men of all time. This next player, he didn't really choose his jersey number, it was instead chosen by his family. Chris Paul has been wearing the number 3 since he could first dribble a basketball, and he idolized his older brother CJ and his father Charles. They were a sports family, so young Paul knew it was a must for him to carry on his family tradition and legacy. His dad wore number 1, his brother CJ wore number 2, and of course Chris Paul was sort of granted the number 3. I think I can speak for all of us when I say I'm glad he did, because the nickname CP3 will go down as one of the best NBA nicknames of all time. For Giannis, he wisely and warm-heartedly chose his number in an amazing way. Giannis is killing the NBA right now, and he has been for the past few seasons. He's so dominant that many compare him to Shaquille O'Neal. And when watching him play, it's not a mystery to see why they're compared. Every single night he makes a jaw-dropping, inhumane play, all while wearing the number 34. He chose this number because of mom and dad. You see, his father Charles was born on June 3rd, and his mother Veronica was born on June 4th. So you put these two numbers together, and you have the perfect number 34. It's really a unique way of showing appreciation to those he loves most. So whenever he's out there giving it his all, he'll always have his mom and dad close to him. Let's talk about another player who's just as dominant, Kevin Durant. The story behind how he chose his number is truly heartbreaking. As a kid, KD attended Seat Pleasant Activity Center, and there he would instantly bond with his coach, known as Big Chucky. They really got along and formed a sort of father and son relationship. Big Chucky knew KD did not live in the best environment, so he would often give KD money, food, and even took him along with his teammates to the movies for a great time. Chucky was the perfect role model for someone like Durant, and they remained intact throughout Durant's teenage years. But just 2 years before Kevin was drafted, Big Chucky was tragically killed in a shooting at the age of just 35 years old. And for all the reasons I just mentioned, this devastated Durant. But he then wore the number 35 throughout college and for the majority of his NBA career. When he went to the Brooklyn Nets, he would change his jersey number to 7, which KD explained meant completion in the Bible. Before he even wore number 7, he released a statement and further explained what the number 35 meant to him. All in all, it was a tragic story, but it just really goes to show how horrible tragedies can sometimes motivate you to go out and do the unthinkable. James Harden has worn the number 13 efficiently his entire career, other than his time in Philly, obviously. And the first time he had ever worn the number was in his freshman year of high school. When I was a freshman, I had to choose my jersey number last, and it was between 13 and 52. I rocked with 13 just because it's known for bad luck, but it's done unbelievable things for myself and my family and the people I'm surrounded with. So I turned it into good luck. So yeah, I think we can all agree choosing the number 13 worked out pretty well, to say the least. Since then, he has led the league in scoring 3 times, won MVP in 2018, and let's not forget that he has made hundreds of millions of dollars in the process. And he accomplished so many great things with that number that Rockets owner Tillman Fertitta basically guaranteed that it would be retired in the future. James Harden will always be a Rocket. Of course, we will retire his jersey. He made my first 3 years of owning this franchise unforgettable. The success he brought this franchise over 8 years and the memories he created for our fan base are truly remarkable. Our next player chose the number 7 to show respect to his idol. And no, his idol wasn't an NBA star or anything like that. But he did play for the Houston Rockets during his rookie season. Luka idolizes Euro basketball legend Vasilis Spanoulis, who is one of the most accomplished and most historic players. He is now head coach for the Athens of the Greek Basketball League. When Luka was drafted, he wanted the number 7 because of him. But of course, number 7 is a very common number. Spanoulis was my idol since I was little. I was watching him. It was kind of sad seeing him retiring. That's why I wear number 7. I mean, I couldn't wear number 7 because it was already taken. So I took 77. He was really big time for me. Now, for the next player, he doesn't really have a deep meaning behind his number, but it still turned out well in the long run. You see, Paul George originally wore number 24 for the Indiana Pacers through 2010 to 2016, and this was a tribute to the late great Kobe Bean Bryant. But in 2017, when George went to the Oklahoma City Thunder, he would change his number, this time to number 13. Again, there wasn't really a deep meaning behind this change. He said he just thought the nickname PG-13 sounded a bit more catchy. And well, I couldn't agree more. It's definitely up there with CP3 on the list of the best nicknames. It's only right that we talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Jordan. The number 23 has been widely known as the most popular number a basketball player could ever wear. But there had to be a reason why Jordan chose the soon-to-be legendary number, right? Well, the answer is yes. My brother wore number 45, which was my number, he explained in an interview. So when we were on the same team, we couldn't wear the same number. So I chose half of what his jersey was, which was 22.5, which I would rather have 23. And that decision proved to be one of the best decisions he's ever made, and he didn't even know it at the time. Now, in the present day, whenever someone sees the number 23, it will always be known and seen as Jordan's number. Sorry, LeBron.